I'm Kayla. This is Allie. Welcome to She's Got Game. Today we have a super fun, actually friend of mine, Jasmine Poppinga, here joining us, and we're so excited. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course, dude. So, I guess like your upbringing was kind of unique.
Yeah.
And very fun. So your dad was in the NFL, so you kind of grew up in the sports world.
Totally.
Surrounded by it your entire life.
Yeah.
How old were you when he was drafted?
So, well, funny story. Let me bring it back a second. So I was born, I'm the only sibling born in August because I was born in the middle of training camp at BYU. My dad was a senior playing here. So I was 1 year old when he got drafted, 2005 to the Packers. So yeah, it's a funny story that all my siblings are now in March. And I'm the only in August because I'm the oldest. And they're like, we can't do this again with the whole training camp thing with football season. So yeah, I was born midst of his, not really midst, but towards the end of his college career. And then, yeah, he got drafted right out of BYU, 2005. And yeah, I was about 1 year old, I guess you could say.
So literally your whole life.
Literally, I was born and then I think next couple weekends. I have pictures of Cosmo holding me as a baby and stuff.
That's
Yeah, I have
so
BYU
cute.
stuff, Packer stuff. I'm not even kidding. Yeah.
That is so cute. So I jumped the gun because I'm so excited to
No, you're
hear
good.
I wanted to let's talk more just about you, where you're from.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm from Southern California, live near Los Angeles area. Grew up. Well, we moved after my dad played at the Packers. My parents were like, let's get a home base somewhere. So that's when we moved to California. I was about 7 years old. I played lacrosse. I horseback rode. I did soccer. I did volleyball. I did basketball. I mean, my main things were always, I did basketball once in kindergarten. But my main things were always lacrosse, horseback riding, and cheerleading. Those were my big three that I did. But yeah, that's my basis, I guess, with growing up. Or do you want to know more about me college-wise too, or what do you want to know more about?
Anything you want to
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give us 3 fun facts, or even more. Give us 2 truths and a lie.
Oh, okay. Oh shoot, I'm so bad at these. 2 truths and a lie.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something that you need a month to plan.
Why are they so hard?
Wait, let me think if I can get a good one.
I'm curious to see if I'm gonna get it right. Because I know you.
Let's think of one. Oh, okay, I have one. I have one. Okay, I have 2.
Almost there.
Okay. So, I've had 4 knee surgeries. I went to 8 different schools before high school. And what was my last one? Now this is going to give it away probably. What was my last one? Oh, I had Division I college lacrosse offers.
Oh, that actually didn't give it away. I don't know.
It's hard when you do the numbers ones, I think.
Yeah, because I'm maybe it was 7
Maybe
schools.
it was
Yeah.
3 knee surgeries.
I'm going to go
Is
with
there-
the knee surgery.
Is a lie? Well, I know
Yeah.
she's had at least 1.
Right.
No, 2. I know she's had at least 2.
Right, maybe she just had 2, because she said 4.
Is there truth to each one?
Yeah. Oh, shoot. So wait, that's not, so should I redo it or something? I don't know. See,
okay.
I'm just bad at
No,
these.
you have to make your guess.
I think she's had 2 knee surgeries.
I've had 3. So you were right. You were right. That's why I looked on when you said the 3 knee surgeries thing. It's 3, and I was like, yeah. I just can't. I'm so bad at the truth and a lie.
No,
I like to tell
we
the
put
truth.
you on the spot.
You did put me on the
We
spot
put you on
right
the
there.
spot.
I like that though.
You did good.
Thank you.
You did good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, so that sucks. You've had a lot of knee surgeries.
Yeah, but that was probably a really pivotal moment of my career, athletically, and knowing that I want to go into sports media because I started lacrosse in 4th grade, did it all the way up into high school. Junior year, basically lived on the East Coast of high school. Beginning of senior year, or summer going into senior year, lived on the East Coast again. My cheer coach was actually really mad at me because I was gone for all of summer conditioning because I just was like, okay, I got to get recruited. Let's get committed somewhere, And then I popped my ACL for the first time, senior night cheerleading. No. And so then just throughout that whole recovery and everything, I was like, my definition, I think, was always, I'm an athlete. I'm going to be a college athlete. That's just what my family is. Not only my dad, but, all of his siblings have gone to college for sports or have, like, him and all of his brothers have played in the NFL. It's
Him
crazy.
and all of his brothers?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, how many
He has
brothers?
2 brothers. So there's 3 of them.
All 3 of them
They've
play
all
in the
played.
NFL?
They've all been on an NFL team, and they've all been on a college team. Yeah, all Utah teams too. They've all played for
That's
Utah State or
crazy.
BYU. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So it's a lot, and that was just with that. It's just when I'm growing up, it's like I get home from soccer practice. Like I think, no joke, 7th or 8th grade, it's get in the weight room. Like we get home, it's get in the gym. Like let's go lift weights.
With your dad?
Oh yeah. And then it was like if I wanted to horseback ride, it was like okay. And this is not traumatic. I'm like so grateful for these opportunities, and I feel like this is a lot of character. Well, I think like when I say this, I'm not trying to sound like a victim or anything. Like I actually love that I've had this experience, but it was like okay, pick you up from school, go horseback ride, go to ballet, then go to soccer. Or some days it was like soccer and lacrosse same day, or some days it was just a lot going on. But I feel like that really built my character, and I loved just being busy with it all. Mm-hmm. But that was because senior year, 2nd semester, I think that's when I was hearing back from schools, and I think I was still, that's when I was hearing back from schools, but once I popped my ACL, I was still applying to a couple schools and stuff. And that's when I was really like, who am I? Because I've not been like, since 8th grade, oh, I want to be Erin Andrews, or like, oh, I want to be a sports reporter. It was really till after I applied to half the colleges, because I applied to most of my schools in business or psychology. Mm-hmm. And then it was in football season and stuff, and I was just in our movie room watching games with my dad all the time and stuff, and we were just talking so much about sports, so many opinions and whatever. And also too, like with cheer and stuff, I always had like big facials. I always like loved being in front of the camera, doing all that fun kind of stuff. And everyone always tell me I have such like a media personality. Mm-hmm. So I was like, wait, what if I just do journalism somewhere or go do sports media somewhere? Like, why don't I go get paid for something I love to talk about? Right. So then that's when the business and psychology thing, because that's what both my parents did. My mom did psychology, and my dad did business while he was a student athlete at BYU. But I feel like that was when I started doing like journalism applications. I was like, okay, this sounds like more up my alley and stuff like that. Yeah.
Dude, that's so cool. I don't even think I introduced like why we have you on here. Obviously because you're dope and you're so funny. She's hilarious. Like, she's so funny.
Yeah.
You're one of the funniest people I know.
Stop it. Stop it. Unironically or ironically? Or both.
Both.
I appreciate that a lot, actually.
No, you're genuinely so fun to be around. But your dad, I mean, you grew up in the sports field.
Yeah.
But like currently, you're paving your own way into
definitely, yeah,
the sports field as your own career. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of reasons why we wanted to have you on.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. But when I guess you kind of said it, like when you really decided that this is the career you want to have, and it was like when you got injured and
I think that, and also too, I think it was always a build up, because my favorite thing was always like either pretending like I didn't know football and then just like throwing out crazy like name stats, like just knowing the rules and like the ways of the game and stuff, because that's my main sport, or not my main sport, but that's the sport I know best, I would say, is football, definitely.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, which is like exactly, it was like when your Sunday routine. Well, here's a funny story for you guys, actually. This is how so me and my brother growing up, right, because he's 18 months younger than me, when I'd say but like when my dad was playing for the Packers, our family was with the Packers, football was such a big part of our lives, where, no joke, me and my brother would go to school and ask our classmates in our public elementary school, what team does your dad play for? Like, I'm not even kidding you, because we thought it was just so normal. Yeah, we just thought it was so normal that everyone's like dad or like mom or something played football. Like, yeah, we'd ask people like what team their dads played for, and they'd look at us like, huh? You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
It's like, 'cause, people have all different kinds of jobs. It's very unique to have like father whose income or your life is supported off of a sport,
Right.
And especially, I think, since my parents had us kind of more on the younger side, I guess, too, it's like they had 3 kids while my dad was in the NFL, which is pretty unique. Yeah. So even going into the draft with a kid is pretty unique. Right. So
your Sundays every week, what did they look like?
It was
as
like
a kid growing up?
I remember we would go to church most of the times, but a lot of it's hard to remember exactly, but a lot of it would just be getting ready for the games and just like going. I think it was very like automatic, very scheduled out. Like that was our whole little kid friend group, was all the NFL or the Packer kids.
That's so cute.
It was, we had it when we were there. It was such a great time, so family oriented, like phenomenal people, phenomenal families. Like I feel so grateful, like still connected with some of them now too, where I'm like, they knew me as like little Jasmine, like walking around in like my pink little Packers like cheerleading outfit.
Did you have the pom poms?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I had like
So
pom poms
cute.
we'd put in my hair, like
That's
these green and
amazing.
yellow like pom. It was like, oh, we had it. My mom was like,
We're gonna need to attach some photos.
we
to
should
this
because,
episode.
or even my mom, like she would go all out where she would like get the custom like beautiful jersey with like the lace, the bedazzles, like
that's
Miss
awesome.
Poppinga. Oh yeah, crazy stuff. But we were really lucky that the years that we were there, like still lifelong friends. Like still, I talked to some of the wives to this day, and they've really helped me out with like just connections or just support overall because they're so well connected and they're just amazing women. And also too, it's like their husbands have been great for me in usage in the sports media world as well. So yeah.
Yeah, your dad is Brady Poppinga.
Yes.
And then his brother, Kelly, is a coach here at BYU.
Yes. Yeah.
And so is that, would you say, a big reason why you came to BYU specifically? Or
Ooh,
how did you
I
end
like
up
this
here?
question. So that's a great question. As Allie, you probably don't know this, or maybe you do. I don't know. But so I went to
Heard a little bit.
I went to Colorado Boulder last year, which looking back, I gotta say, it was a phenomenal year. Deion Sanders was first year coaching there. It was crazy. We had like big
Yeah.
noon there. We had college game day. With sports media, it was just such a rise and everything. Like I went to this conference even for just sports media and like how it's changing in the Colorado, Denver, or even Boulder area. How it's like in such an incline. Such a great time to be there and like such a phenomenal fun year. And then I'll get to my point why I was there and stuff. But then I came to BYU. We go 11-2. So maybe I'm the good luck charm.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. Well, I mean, not to say anything.
Because
I
this is
mean,
your first year here. You have years.
Yeah.
You have a lot of years to go.
yeah. I mean, Colorado
So,
had a great first season with the new coaching and the new players. It wasn't 11-2 season. I mean, I think they had an 11-2 season this year. I think or something else. Really, I mean, we played them in
Very good
Alba.
season.
A very good season overall.
Yeah.
But it was fun being there
I
for
think it was
both.
11-2.
I think there was 4 of us who tied for first in
Yeah.
regular season. I think Iowa State, ISU, BYU, and Colorado all tied for. Anyways, so I was at Colorado, really loved it there. I made the best of friends. The program was so phenomenal, but I think the moment that had me transfer, there was a couple aspects to it. Definitely during Thanksgiving, I was of course going home to California, and I get a call from my dad. And he's like, hey, like, do you want to come out to BYU? It's the Oklahoma game. A traumatic game. It was the Oklahoma game. And he's like, you want to come out for it and just, like, see everyone and just, like, hang out. And, like, I want to just show you BYU broadcasting. Like, just for fun, you know? And I'm like,
So you had
Just
no,
for fun. He
Oh,
had other
oh,
intentions.
exactly.
You had no intention of transferring at this point.
well, me, no.
Yeah.
Personally, no. I had no, like, nothing. I was like, I loved Boulder, or I still do. I mean, I'm going there in a couple weekends to visit friends. Like, love Boulder, right? And so I was like, yeah, like, let's do it. Like, I love football. Like, I don't know if I was missing a Colorado game or whatnot, but I was like, I'll go to a football game, of course. So I fly out. He picks me up, whatever. I think one of the first things we did, I'm trying to think, I don't remember. But basically, he set up, like, a recruiting visit for me, where I think we went to the SAB. We worked, because my dad does
The student athlete.
fitness, the student athlete building. So I worked out at the SAB, and then I shower, like, I get to use the training stuff, you know, I feel like so special. I feel like I'm like an athlete on a visit right now, you know. And then we go into practice, he takes me into, I think it was their walkthrough before the Oklahoma game, and Kalani comes up to me, and, because of course, so many stories. Side story really quick, or not story, but basically, so my dad, when he was in high school getting recruited by BYU, Kalani was his, like, mentor or his, like, big brother for his official visit weekend. So that's who took him around.
Crazy.
And another funny story, guys, is that he took him to some party, and my mom, they didn't meet then. They met on their mission, my parents, but my mom was actually at the same party that him and Kalani went to, I guess, or
crazy.
something. Anyway, so Kalani comes up to me. I don't think I had ever met him at that point, but he came up to me, he talked to me, and I can just tell how he gets so many recruits to come here because I think he gave me like 20, 30 minutes, or he just talked to me for 20, 30 minutes and just basically was like, because I always have had some, like, I don't know what the exact word is, but I've always just had this image of BYU that now being here I know is false, you know? Like, to be honest,
let's pause. And what?
wait, are we?
No, I mean, like, let's dig into that.
Dig into that about BYU?
Yeah, what was your image and how was it false?
I mean, I think the image of it to me was just like somewhere where I'm going to go and I'm just going to not be able to be myself in a way, or I'm going to have to, like, kind of want to be copy-paste and, like, okay, every single standard down the line, like, if I don't follow every single one as, like, someone else interprets it, then it's, like, my issue. Because I feel like there's different interpretations, like, within, like, just doctrine in general and, like, within the standards. Like, there's different things, and I think it's always, everyone's a different person. Like, great. That's great. That's a beauty that everyone's a different person, you know, in my opinion. Like, I don't think there should be, like, copy and paste of people. And so, like, that kind of concerned me, which, honestly, I think it was more that, like, I just didn't want to come to BYU to be so real. Like, I know that sounds horrible. I think that was more of an excuse. That's not really what I was scared for, because, like, we're going to be so real right now. Actually, what happened was, out of high school, I applied to BYU. I didn't want to go here, to be honest. But I did, like, I submitted the application and everything, and I didn't get in. And then even the first time I applied to transfer, I didn't get in again. So then that's when, the summer, I knew I was doing Flex GE here. And then... Flex GE.
Oh, okay.
Wait, maybe let me go back to the Connie story, because then I can, like, get.
Yeah, sorry.
Then I can wrap it up.
I gotta know what you
yeah. But does that answer your question or no? Okay. I want to make sure I answer that.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, Connie talks to me, and basically, well, that helps too with the story. Everything I said like that, he basically was like, "It's your story. You read it. Like, why do you care what other people think?" You know what I'm saying? Like, the honor code's gonna be there, but, like, you do your thing. Like, obviously, he's not telling anyone, like, obviously, like, all of the athletes have to follow the rules and stuff, but he's saying at the end of the day, like, things are evolving at BYU, like, come here and, like, be a part of the change, and, like, what, like, makes you care what other people think, like, even if, like, because obviously I'm following that and stuff, the honor code and stuff, but I don't know, there's always concerns that, like, I felt like, I don't want to be like I'm different than everyone else, because I don't know if that's the truth of it too. I'm not, like, this crazy, like, different person, but I think that was more an excuse that I just didn't want to come to BYU. To be honest, I think I wanted to be at, like, the fun Boulder Greek life type of school, and, like, honestly, I feel so fortunate that I got to go there for the year I did, and, like, I love it there. Would suggest anyone and everyone to go there. But back to the BYU thing, after I visited with Kalani, and he told me that, I was like, wow, that was, like, changing. And then I think after that, that's when me and my dad, Junior, gave us a tour of BYU TV. And, like, showed me, like, where the students work, like, where now I work in the content room and, like, all the control rooms and everything. And, like, that was kind of right there. That was a moment where I was like, if I really, like, I'd tell everyone at Boulder, like, I was telling all of my friends, like, people I'd meet, like, I want to be a sideline reporter for the NFL one day, or I want to be a reporter for the NFL one day. If I really want to do that, I had to make the switch, because it's like, this is the place that not only is going to get me there, but I feel like put me years ahead of where I would be there. Not that Colorado doesn't have the opportunities, but just the BYU TV facilities are unbeatable.
It's unbeatable.
Unbeatable. Like, you don't get that anywhere else.
Nowhere else in the nation has the opportunities that BYU does for their students in this sports journalism field.
Totally. Like, you guys were both at March Madness, correct? Did you guys both?
I went to the Big 12 tournament right before.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, because I was like, I thought I saw your content there. But it's like getting to go to that. The fact that we get to report on ESPN Plus for sports is crazy. Yes. And I think, too, a big push for me to come here was also, okay, my name right now is Jasmine Poppinga, and that is a name that, like, you know.
Very known here.
It's known here. It's like, yeah, exactly. Like, when I talk to people, it's like, oh, do you know Brady? Do you know Kelly? So it's one of those things, too, where it's like coaches are always changing around. Not saying that, I mean, yeah, no, I'm going to say it. Like, I'm using that to my benefit at the end of the day. Like, while Kelly's here. And I know that was, like, I don't know. You asked me about Kelly earlier, but definitely.
Yeah. Like, the original question was, like, was he a reason why you came here?
I think definitely, yeah. Like, it's good for me to be closer to family. Not only have, like, family in Utah, but, like, because I had my grandma in Colorado on my mom's side, but, like, family on campus is really nice. And it was, like, the other day when I went to football media availability for a class, it's like I see K-pop in there, and it's just super fun, and, like, it just feels like home, you know. And, like, it's great that I'm able to see Kelly and all of his kids who are my cousins, and, like, his wife Becca is awesome. So it's nice to have them here, and it kind of feels like very similar to my family, and, like, they've definitely included me a lot with a lot of family things, and just made me feel like I'm always, like, have a home in Utah too, which has been nice.
Okay, so when you came for that Oklahoma game, that visit, when you were here, did you kind of have a sense of, like, these are my roots, like, this is my home? Like,
definitely,
I don't know, coming back?
Definitely. I think coming here, I was, like, there was a point where, like, I used, like, one of my parents rented out cards, because then, or no, that was a different, wow, I'm, like, getting scattered with my trips now, but when I came here, I was definitely, like, whoa, like this really feels at home. And just like seeing my dad even like, I think it was really cute and like fun for me too, like being able to see like my dad at his like old stomping grounds and like getting to meet people that he was like, here's blah 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 coach, but like we played together, you know. It was just really fun to be like around that aspect of it. And yeah, definitely like I did feel like, okay, like both my parents went here, both my parents graduated from here, and they had always been like, okay, go to BYU, go to BYU. They would always tell me that and stuff, and I'd always kind of push back, whatever. And I think there was one day I was like, you guys are right. Like I think it was after I toured everything, did the Oklahoma State game, or Oklahoma game, sorry, and did the whole basically BYU tour. I was like, okay, I gotta be here. But I will tell you, something that I think is kind of funny about this whole thing is, because I was always like thinking about the campus and stuff, and I was like, the campus is really pretty, and like Boulder's is gorgeous too, right? And I was like, yeah, like BYU has like a pretty campus, whatever. It wasn't until my first day of on-campus class here that I was like, wait, campus is actually beautiful.
Whoa.
Because I had only been to the SAB, Student Athlete Building, the football field, the indoor facility, and like Legends Grill, and then like the Wilk one time. Those are the only places I'd ever been.
Like,
and then so when I was walking like this way to Brimhill, I was like, whoa, like this is actually like a gorgeous like campus. Like, whoa. So it's so funny that I was like, I think I called my parents that night too, and I was like, yeah, so today was my actual first time on campus actually. Because I'm always in like the sports places or before then. So
it's crazy you say that, because last week I was in Denver for March Madness, and walking on their campus there and just around, and I was like, this is their campus?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And crazy.
Yeah,
like it wasn't Boulder's campus, it was the Denver campus.
Was it CU Denver or was it Denver University? Do you know?
Denver University.
Oh, yeah. I've never been on their campus before.
Yeah. And so it just like wasn't BYU. Like it's just the mountains and the trees everywhere, and they just take such good care of this campus. I was just like,
they do,
whoa.
Really do.
I didn't realize. I mean, I knew it was beautiful, but then like you go see other campuses, and it's just like puts it into perspective. So it's interesting you say that, because I literally was just thinking about that.
Funny enough, I think Boulder and BYU's campuses actually look so similar.
Very similar.
And like when my best friend who like goes to ASU now, like she's been to both campuses, and like my best friend from Boulder came to Provo, and they all were like, yeah, this is like giving the same kind of vibes. Yeah, totally, because you have the like mountains in the background that are just beautiful, and then like a bunch of brick and stuff. There's like same thing, different fonts, I would say, basically.
Different fonts.
But yeah, definitely I knew that my roots were here. I think actually, so what I was referring to when you first asked me that question, I was like thinking of the same thing but like different trips. So after that first trip, that was during Thanksgiving, that's when I applied to BYU the first time. I was like, okay, let's do this. Worked so hard on my application, like so hard on it. Like I applied everything, whatever, good. And then I was going into, and that's when I really knew I wanted to transfer to BYU and stuff. And whatever, I got housing for BYU. I knew I was coming here regardless of anything. And then I get my decision back, and they're like, you did not get, like, admission. And I was like, what? Like, I had a 3.8 GPA at Boulder. Like, how could this happen? You know, it was just crazy for me. Like, I'm on the phone with my mom being like...
So this is the third time now?
This is the second time that I applied.
Oh.
This is the second time I applied. It was for fall BYU.
I
this
see.
2023 semester.
Yeah. I see.
And so I was like, what happened? Whatever. So we're calling around, whatever, and I guess it was my bad that I applied for the transfer, like, early action, basically, so that my official grades from Boulder hadn't been sent over, because they weren't official yet, which is my bad. So they only saw my high school grades, which makes sense now, because I was like, how do I go, like, I had a really good application, I was like, what? But it made sense. Anyways, so, whatever, I had my apartment, like, signed, and my parents were like, okay, you're going to do Flex GE. Because I was like, at that point when I didn't get in, I was like, do I stay another semester at Boulder? Like, what do I do now, you know? So then that's when they're like, okay, we're going to do Flex GE for this first time. And like BYU TV told me, like, to get a job here, you just have to, get a BYU schedule. Yeah. Because, that's what they wanted from me.
You
like,
have to technically be a student.
Yeah, you have to be a student. So I came back for the spring game, the alumni spring game, whatever. And I think that's really, like, when I started touring places to stay, and, like, that's really when, like, my roots, I think. That's when I was like, okay. At first, honestly, it was really scary, because I came here knowing no one. Like, at Boulder, at least, it was, like, I had people from my high school who went here, and, like, good, close friends, and the people who were, like, older brothers and sisters to me, which was really, like, nice. And, like, you have the sorority and stuff, and, like, living in the dorms, you just meet everyone, too. So it's just easier that way. But coming here, it was, like, scary, because I was like, I don't know anyone. Like, I know there's a bunch of opportunity and, like, possibilities, but it just was scary. But yeah, it definitely felt like home that first time. Yeah.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And now you got a job at BYU TV, and you're currently, I guess you just finished a season sidelining for ESPN Plus for women's basketball here on campus, which is so cool.
Yeah.
Again, like the experiences you get to have here as a student is insane. Because of the quality that BYU TV provides. Like
totally.
BYU TV is just so good.
Yeah.
That ESPN trusts them.
And I think
with their
also
too, you know what I mean? Like it's so
totally.
Cool.
And I think for us students too, they hold us to such a higher standard where it's not even like, I feel like no one at BYU TV is ever like on my back or like pressuring me. It's more like, okay, I want to do better to impress them. So I think it's like they have that culture there too, which is so great. It's not just like they're throwing anyone everywhere, you know? It's like you really like I started as an editor for Sports Nation, and like I feel like every day when I was in there, I was like, okay, I want to make this as good as I can and like not get any like corrections or feedback, like not in a bad way, but I was like, I just want to impress whoever the AD like was, or the director or the tape producer was, you know? And of course they'd give me feedback that has helped me and will help me for future everything, you know? But every time I was like, I just want to be better. I want to get better. I want to get better. Like do it quicker, all these things. Yeah.
It's so amazing. And seeing you sideline and has been so fun, and you've done such an amazing job.
Thank you.
Yeah, getting started. I mean, your first game sidelining, I'm currently sidelining now, so I understand like the pressure and the kind of the anxious nerves, but also the excitement that goes into sidelining, because it's like your dream. Like this is what I want to do, and now I'm doing it. Like it's crazy. It's the craziest thing.
It's the craziest feeling.
It's so amazing, but I mean, I can speak from my experience, but like, what was your experience for your very first game sidelining? Did you have that moment of like, whoa, what am I doing? How am I doing this?
Oh, thousands. Well, what happened, I think definitely, like, long story short, I guess, is that, I mean, when I was coming to BYU too, I told people about BYU TV and ESPN, and they'd always tell me, they'd like, so excited to see you on TV. And in the back of my head, I was like, I don't think that's like how it works. Like, I don't think you just like go somewhere and go on TV, you know? Like, I was just always like, yep, like I'm excited too, you know? Anyways, so,
I heard a little jingle.
I did too.
A little chime.
I say
okay, let's just finish. We're finishing with that.
You may just keep going with that one.
Yeah.
It's weird because that one's not overheating, so I don't know what this one's issue.
That one's struggling, but we're just going to keep going with that one.
Okay, awesome. So, yeah, everyone was telling me that basically, like, we're excited to see you on TV, and I was like, I don't know about that, you know? Anyways, so I became an editor at BYU TV, did the Sports Nation thing, and like I was saying, like, really working hard to just improve and like get better and like learn Adobe Premiere and stuff, and something significant. And I definitely too, like, I would go in the office and like I would tell Ben like, hey, any opportunities?
Your producer?
Yes, supervisor.
The supervisor.
Yeah, I'd go in and be like, hey, any opportunities where I can like shadow Spencer, shadow Jerem, like anything I could do as a sideliner. Yeah, the sideline reporters, like anything I could do, like let me just do it to be around it, you know, at least. And like who knows, maybe one time I can like do a rep after, even if it's like just for my own personal, you know. And so I definitely would go in and say that, and then I never, like, I always would just be confident, and, like, I've always lived by, it's always a no unless if you ask. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't have an answer, like, just go and ask, why not?
Yeah.
Anyways, so right before, so I got hired, I remember this so significantly. I got hired on a Tuesday to, or when Junior came in the office, the head of sports production, when he pulled me into his office and told me, like, hey, you're going to report. The Saturday before then, something about me too is that like I think I was pretty good at Sports Station doing this because I was working during football season, and like I was saying, that's my key thing. And no matter what, no matter who's having a conversation, they don't have to be my friend or whatever. I would make sure to like put myself in it. Like if there was something that was slightly like, ooh, like I could give a hot take, like I have no issue with like looking over my computer and totally being like, oh, well actually this is my opinion on it, you know? So I'm at Vasa a Saturday, right? And I'm walking, like, to the sauna, and, like, there's all these old men in a hot tub, right? And it was a BYU Baylor game. And I just, like, watched it that morning, whatever. And I was like, oh, that was a great game. Like, super on, like, a high from that, you know? And these guys were, like, they said something like, what'd you guys think of the game or whatever? I just put myself in their conversation and, like, just start spitting ball, like, you know what I'm saying? Just talking with them and stuff. And after, they told me, they're like, what's your name? Because we know one day when you're on ESPN, we're going to need to get tickets from you or something like that, you know? Awesome. And it was just cute that happened. And then that Tuesday, I was just editing like something again because I was like, I just want to get faster at this whole premiere thing if I'm editing for a live show like Sports Nation. And then Junior called me in and was like, so I hear you want a sideline report. And I was like, I do. And he's like, okay, you want to do the women's basketball season? And I was like, yeah, why not? Let's do it, And so at first I was like, wait, is this real? And I was like, wait, I'm going to be on ESPN Plus? Because I remember he was bringing it up, and I was like, so wait, I'm on the camera? Like, I was super confused almost at first.
You're like, is this real?
Yeah, I was like,
How
is this real? And
yeah.
I even fronted it to him too. I'm like, I'm not saying I deserve football at all. Or not saying like put me on football, but I was like, just to let you know, I know football a lot better than I know women's basketball. Because I didn't know if you'd ever heard me like talking football in the office. Yeah. So I was just making sure that he knew what I had for basketball. Anyways, that day, after I got out of his office, I've told you this before, I literally ordered the book, Allie. I ordered this book that's called Basketball for Dummies. Because I was like...
That's awesome.
Yeah, because I was like, I need to prepare right now.
Invest your life into it.
The thing, too, about that was when I got asked to do it, I think I had 2 to 3 weeks to, until my first game.
Yeah, you had, because you had the first season.
I did have the first season. It was very quick, and I was shoot.
Of the season.
When he hired all of us.
Yeah, there's 3 sideline reporters at BYTV. You, me, and Mary.
And yeah.
Your season was first.
My season was right then and there. Yeah. So I was a little stressed out, and I remember I had trips planned to Boston and Boulder in between when he hired me versus my first game. And I was just on the phone with my mom at Boulder being like, Mom, I don't know what to do because I feel like right now this is what I want to do, but I just don't feel prepared for it. And my mom told me, she was like, okay, but she's like, this opportunity kind of come across 5 to 3 years, and she's like, and I don't know if you'll ever be really prepared enough until you just do it. Right. She was like, you could be saying for the next 5 years, let's prepare to do it, but you just got to go out and do that. And that really shifted in my head, okay, yeah, let's just go do it, So back to your question, I just had to give that front with it. But the first game, definitely, I think I learned a lot from it. Because in my preparation, honestly, it was very throw me in, I was like, okay, we have a broadcast call with the coaches. That's what I knew was structured. Otherwise, me and my producer, the producer Harrison, we talked about my opening hit and stuff, and I knew I had that, and of course I knew to interview people. But otherwise, I was like, what do I do? Or what's my job, Yeah. So I'm preparing crazy. I'm looking into players who have never seen the court. They don't have minutes. They don't play, these players. There's going to be no point in the broadcast where I need to talk about them. But I know all these personal interest stories about them. Yeah. I'm loaded up. I'm just in case. I think I came in with 10 pages of written notes.
Oh yeah, dude.
Written notes. And I'm what in the world? So honestly, the first game was awesome. Super fun. And I think looking back, I was just super cute. I almost I feel honestly, it's one of my, looking back on my games, it was one of my favorite games because I feel I was just so, I don't want to say naive, I don't think that's the right word, but I was just so, let's just do this, let's figure this out, and now every time, I know how to critique myself, and, I really know the expectations and stuff, so I'm a lot more, tougher, but that game was just so fun because it was just so, kind of out there, be Jasmine Poppinga, figure it out,
Right.
So that was definitely my experience with it, but I was really lucky to work with BYU women's basketball, and it was Idaho, the Vandals, I think it's University of Idaho. They were phenomenal too, working with me and stuff, and it was just fun getting to do that first game. But I do feel I was really fortunate because at my last game was Kansas versus BYU. And what's it called? A lot of people would always tell me, they're first game, the Idaho game versus the Kansas game, so much improvement, because it was hard too, because in those 3 weeks where I had to really prepare and stuff, I wasn't in town, my bad. I didn't really shadow anyone. I kind of, was okay, looking up YouTube videos, day in the life of a sideline reporter. I'm not even kidding.
What am I doing?
What do I do, you know? And, I was fortunate, too, that my dad he did sports broadcasting after his NFL career as well. So he had some really great advice for me and helped me out. And I had a couple friends that I had to phone and being what's going on? What am I supposed to do, But it all worked out. And I think definitely throughout the season, it was, game per game, as you probably know, Kayla, it's a really, this job is just something, you just got to do it. There's no amount of preparation.
I was literally just about to say that.
Yeah, you just got to do it.
There's only so much you can prepare for, I can go study and learn the name of every person on the team, and I can memorize their stats, and I can talk to the coaches and feel prepared. But, truly, the only way that you're really going to get better and learn and, figure it out is just by doing it. And so that's why it's like looking back on the first game.
Yeah.
I was the same way. I was like trying to write all these notes, like pages and pages of notes, and be so prepared. And it's like I didn't even use a quarter of what I had prepared.
No,
like,
I think I was writing in game. I was writing notes over my notes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because I'm like, oh wait, this has nothing to do with anything.
You just got to go with it. And I think that's such like just in this career field specifically, but really any career field, the best way you're gonna learn and just grow in any space is just by doing it.
Yeah.
And I think you had such a good mindset going into it because you didn't have a long time to prepare. Yeah. And so you had to kind of just say, all right, let's do it. Yeah. And just had a yes mentality and I'm just going to roll with it mentality.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's, I think, the best thing you could have done because there's no other way to learn or to even do it. You just got to roll with it. You just got to learn like in-game experience. And I'm just excited for the rest of your future because
I'm so excited too.
You're so like the first year here, you get to go be on air on ESPN.
It's crazy.
Like, you get years more of this.
Oh, I know. I feel so fortunate that I've been able to have this opportunity and like even just like since the basketball season was like a long season too, like just even that the Idaho game to the Kansas game, it's like I had so many reps in between all that too that it's like I just got to progress so much throughout the season. And again, like since I'm only my first year here, I probably will have two more at least here.
Two more
at
here.
least 2 more here.
You could
so
even
it's
have
like
3 more years of doing this, and it's like you could. Who knows what sports you're gonna do next, and just the experience that is gonna give you. Is amazing. So that by the time you're out of college, like you're gonna have years of ESPN Plus. Sideline reporter under your belt, and it's like it excites me for you.
It excites me too. Definitely.
Think about like where you're gonna be in the next couple of years. And so I don't know, I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
You're good at what you do.
Thank you.
You just have such you're so perfect for it.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that a lot.
Though. I really do.
I appreciate that.
And you're just so perfect for it. You have the knowledge, you have the experience, you have the connections through your dad. And, like you were literally raised in the sports world and now you're paving your own path
it's great.
In your own career in the sports world. And I think that's so cool. And
I think also a lot of people come to college, they come to BYU and they're like, where do I get started? And you've been so lucky, like Kayla said, and you're just luck and you're just good at it. So it's like your talents too. But just first, so our podcast, She's Got Game, that's the name of it. So we just want to know, as someone who has some experience, what is advice that you would give to someone just starting out to help them take their game to the next level, whether that's sports, or anything in life?
Oh, I love this question. I love this question. Honestly, I feel like I have like 2 main things. I think the first thing is do what you want to do. At the end of the day, everyone, no matter what you do, everyone's going to judge you. No matter if you're great at something, if you suck at something, like there's going to be some little part, like everyone's going to criticize you no matter what, you know? So just do it. Like post that post, send that text, like do that thing, you know? Like just go out and do it because it's like at the end of the day, like do you really want to be sitting in the back seat like being like, oh shoot, what are they going to think if I do this? Or do you want to be like, let's take over the wheel and like let's just go do it. Like let's get experience. I think that's one piece of my advice definitely. And I think my other thing is just authenticity. I think a big thing that happened to me like after my first game, and like of course I get feedback after every game that I do. And I was like, shoot, like I should be like Holly Rowe, or I should be like Erin Andrews, or I should be like Krista Thompson, or Lisa Salters, or like who do I want to be like, you know, or Stormy. I love Stormy, you know, like I should be like them, you know. And I remember I was like, there was some tendency that I started to catch on to, and I was watching my film back with Ben and Junior supervisors and the head of sports production, and they're like, why do you keep doing this? And I was like, I saw blank, like one of the female reporters, I was like, I see her keep doing this, like, you know, and they're like, well, we hired Jasmine Poppinga to do the job, not her. And that really sat with me where I was like, you're so right. Like, I just need to be my authentic self. And, like, at the end of the day, what I was doing wasn't that big of a deal. And that's just that person's brand. But for me, I think basically, like, a big part of the thing is just be your authentic self. Like, do things that make you happy and just learn from mistakes. And, I think just being your authentic self and just doing things, because at the end of the day, everyone's going to judge you anyways. So just do it, you know?
I love that.
I like it.
As you're speaking, yours reminded me of a couple episodes back. We had Diljeet Taylor come on, and her advice to level up her game was to prove people right instead of prove people wrong.
I like that.
I love that because to your point, they said we hired Jasmine Poppinga to do this job, not anybody else.
Yeah.
And it's true. Like, they hired you to be the sideline reporter.
Yeah.
And so that proves that they already believe in you to do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? They already believe that you can do it. That's why they hired you. So your only job now is to prove them right.
Yeah.
Prove them
That's
right.
exactly.
That Jasmine Poppinga was the one to hire.
Totally. And that's
Not
why I stress
anybody
out.
else.
That's why I stress out because I'm like, I'm not even the reason I feel like the most stress is because I'm like, wow, like I want to like show these people like I deserve this, like because like also too like when Junior hires me and tells me like you have this women's basketball season, in my head though too I'm like, no, it's game per game, like I gotta show up my like 100% game like each game, like I think that could be another part of advice, like show up and like show out too, because it's like I could sit in the backseat and be like, oh well, I'll just fix it the Arizona State game or UCF game, like no, it's like this is like literally it's game time, like figure it out, do it, you know, and like show up, because at the end of the day like they could come up to me and be like, hey, like you need to start at a lower level, like we want to like give you this opportunity in the future, you know, so it's just like showing up and like definitely I think for you too, like and like I think that comes with the proving them right, it's like do it for you also, like knowing like okay I want to, because it's like I could look back and be like okay I want them to be happy with me, but it's like no, do it because I want to be better and like I want to improve each time, you know, and like improving too isn't always up, you know, sometimes you go down and then you go up, and then you know it's not it's not always in a straight incline, but I think definitely I like that piece of advice, doing things what did you say, prove people right. So prove people right, I like that a lot, and then do it for you also,
because if they gave you the opportunity they already believe you deserve it, they already believe you can do it,
and so if you can get that foot in the door too.
This one just, I don't know if this one's now overheated or what.
That's okay, can we we'll just wrap it up? Awesome. Is it on? I love that piece of advice. Thank you so much. We're both so excited to just see where you go with the rest of your career, and thank you for coming on. I just love you.
Thank you for having me. Yes, love you both.
We love you.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, thank you for letting me share my story, and
Of course.
Yeah, you guys are the best.